broadly that there were four different whole body strategies that athletes use when accelerating it, and it just kind of seemed to tally up with what I was seeing, and gave me a way to provide like a descriptive measure of the way in which someone approaches their acceleration. So to help put it in a bit of context, so the first strategy is what I term bounders. So these guys have a long step length with long flight times. So they travel quite a long distance during the air with each step. So if you think like I don't know, a gazelle kind of, and being chased with these boundy kind of steps, if you like. So that would be one acceleration strategy. And the second one is what I term striders. So striders also have long step lengths, but they have long contact times and shorter flight times relative to the bounders. And because of those longer contact times, they cover more distance across the ground during each contact phase. If you've ever watched, again, if I stick on the animal theme, if you've ever watched like an ostrich run fast, that's a bit what they're like. So
Ah,
ostriches barely leave the ground, but they've got these really long kind of steps, and they stride out a long distance when they're in contact with the ground. Um, then the third acceleration strategy is what I term spinners. So spinners have high step rates that are underpinned by short flight times. So when you watch them sprint, it's almost like they never leave the ground. So their legs kind of
mm,
spin over relatively quickly. I don't know if you've seen a particular. There's a lizard called the Jesus Christ lizard.
oh, yep.
And it's called that because it can run across water. And spinners are a bit like the Jesus Christ lizard. So they turn their legs over very fast and look like they just kind of glide across the surface and don't bob up and down. Um, and then the fourth strategy is what I term bouncers. So like spinners, bouncers have a high step rate, but it's underpinned by short contact times rather than short flight times. So they look, like they're bouncing fast across the ground with these short steps. And I liken them to, there's a desert rodent called a jerboa, who are built like almost kind of mini kangaroos. And when you watch them run away from predators across a desert, again, they bounce really kind of quickly across the surface. So that's what I kind of liken to them. And I mean, there's lots that, came out of all the kind of research I did around that, and what I've used in my practice as well with it. But that kind of sums up the strategies and broadly where they came from.
Yeah, I love it. As you're talking, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely a bounder. And you think about all
Yeah.
the athletes that you see, and even like looking at things like the NFL combine, I feel like you see a lot of striders in there, like people who they're
Yeah.
not track guys because they don't really get off the ground, but they've learned to manipulate stride to be fast.